When we first stood on this site at the foot of Mount Fuji, we didn't see it as just a backdrop or a distant postcard view. We felt its presence as a silent, powerful participant in the landscape. Our goal was to create a third place, a sanctuary that moves away from the frantic pace of city life and invites a slower, more deliberate awareness of time. We designed 3 distinct villas, each offering a different way to experience the mountain: floating, sinking, and enveloping. It's an orchestration of eye levels, light, and material that reconfigures how we perceive our environment and our own bodies within it. Through these orchestrated spatial states, we propose an alternative environment for retreat and reflection. Looking down from above, you can see how the project settles into the richly undulating terrain. The 3 villas aren't just placed on the land, they are carefully positioned along a shared axis, all eyes turned toward the borrowed scenery of the mountain. Even from this height, the distinct identities of the buildings start to emerge. They feel like a cluster of individual moments, each finding its own unique rhythm within the green foothills of Fuji. It's about creating a dialogue between the architecture and the vastness of the landscape. As we move closer, the relationship between the structures becomes clearer. You can see the floating wooden volume, the subdued mass of concrete embedded in the slope, and the expansive curved roof that follows the ridgeline. Each villa is a different mode of encounter. We wanted to make sure that while they all share the same orientation, the experience of being inside each one is fundamentally different, altering your eye level and your sense of distance from the world outside. From directly overhead, the site reveals itself as a sequence of experiences. The paths connect the villas like a narrative thread, winding through the natural depressions and rises of the ground. You can see how the shared axis defines the entire composition. Everything is pulled toward that singular view of Mount Fuji, yet the architecture creates buffers and openings that make the journey between the buildings feel as important as the destination itself. The site plan reflects this choreographed movement. We worked with the existing topography to ensure that each building feels grounded in its specific location. The layout isn't just about efficiency, it's about the gaps between things, the spaces where light and air move freely. It's a map of how we intend to guide the senses through the environment, leading you from the communal to the introspective. When we look at the internal logic of the first villa, it's all about the vertical journey. Even on a small footprint, we wanted to emphasize the transition from the grounded entrance to the elevated living spaces. It's a simple, compact organization that prioritizes the view above all else. By lifting the living areas, we ensure that the inhabitant is always in a direct, equal relationship with the horizon. Approaching the first villa, the sensation is one of levitation. A massive stone base, looking like a piece of the earth itself, lifts a dark wooden volume high into the air. This rock-like mass acts as a visual anchor, the first icon you encounter on the site. It feels permanent and heavy, providing a sense of security that allows the wooden structure above to feel incredibly light and ephemeral. By elevating the building to its greatest height, we've ensured it commands a powerful presence, despite being the furthest from the mountain. The wooden volume seems to hover over the slope, reaching out toward the landscape. The terrace becomes an extension of the interior, a platform for observation. We wanted to dissolve the boundary between inside and out, making the act of living here feel like you're part of the sky. From the side, the contrast between the dark cladding and the surrounding trees is striking. The building stands as a clean, geometric counterpoint to the organic forms of the forest. Nearby, a vertical tower provides a secondary rhythm to the site. It's about creating a composition of forms that speak to each other, building a complex architectural language out of simple, powerful gestures. The stone base is more than just a structural element. It's a piece of sculpture. Its faceted surfaces catch the light in different ways throughout the day, emphasizing its mass and materiality. We wanted this first encounter to feel substantial, almost primeval. It sets the tone for the entire project, that architecture is something carved from the earth, even when it's reaching for the clouds. The floor plan of this floating villa reveals a generous heart. The living and dining areas flow seamlessly together, opening onto a large terrace that directs every gaze toward Fuji. But look closer at the edges. Tucked into the stone mass is a zone for introspection, the bathing area. It's a deliberate shift from the expansive living space to a cave-like private sanctuary. The section shows how we've used the slope to our advantage. The building doesn't fight the terrain. It uses it to create different levels of privacy and exposure. You can see the dramatic cantilever and how the stone base roots the structure. It's a clear demonstration of the floating concept, a physical manifestation of the lightness we wanted to achieve in the living spaces. Step inside and the mountain is immediately there. We used a muted, dark interior palette to ensure that the vibrant colors of the landscape are the focus. The exposed wooden beams overhead add a sense of rhythm and warmth. They guide your eye toward the massive window, where the peak of Mount Fuji is perfectly framed, looking almost like a painting that changes with the light. The kitchen and dining area are designed for gathering, but with a quiet, refined atmosphere. We used clean lines and minimal detail to keep the space feeling open and airy. The long, faceted island bench echoes the geometry of the architecture outside. It's a place where you can share a meal while still feeling deeply connected to the environment through the surrounding windows. The relationship with Mount Fuji is ever present. From the terrace, the mountain feels like an active participant in your daily life, its snowy peak constantly drawing the eye. This is the essence of the floating experience, being lifted above the mundane details of the slope to engage directly with the sublime scale of the landscape. It's a place where time seems to slow down, measured only by the movement of clouds across the peak. Transitioning from the bright, open living area, the bathing zone offers a completely different sensory experience. It's carved into the stone mass, forming a cave-like sanctuary. The cold bath is designed to be a place of deep introspection. Soft, indirect light filters through the space, creating a calm, meditative atmosphere where the temperature and the texture of the stone become the primary focuses. Within this stone sanctuary, we've created a series of intimate spaces. The archways lead you deeper into the cool, quiet heart of the building. The materials here are raw and tactile. We wanted the sensation of the water and the stone to ground you, providing a sharp contrast to the airy, expansive feeling of the living room just steps away. The texture of the walls is intentional, a rough finish that reminds you of the natural origins of the material. It catches the low light, creating a play of shadow that adds to the cave-like feeling. Every detail in this zone is about stripping away the unnecessary and returning to a more primal state of being. It's a reconfiguration of bodily awareness through light, temperature, and material. Moving on to the second villa, we encounter a completely different architectural approach. This building is sinking, embedded within a natural depression in the terrain. Appearing as a subdued polyhedral mass of earth-toned concrete, its exterior blends seamlessly with the surrounding topography. It's about being of the earth rather than above it, seeking stillness within the depth of the site. At dusk, the villa begins to glow from within, like a warm ember tucked into the hillside. The minimal openings on the exterior emphasize its role as a quiet retreat from the outside world. The earth-toned concrete reflects the colors of the landscape, making the building feel like a natural extension of the ground. It's a space designed for silence and distance, a literal and figurative sinking into the environment. The plan for this second villa is focused on creating a series of cave spaces. The living and sleeping areas are defined by continuous curved surfaces that wrap around the inhabitant. It's a more intimate organization than the first villa, focusing on the internal experience and the gentle diffusion of light through the curved forms. Every space feels protective and secure. The section highlights how the building is nestled into the slope. By minimizing openings, we've established a sense of distance from the rhythms of the city. You can see how the curved interior surfaces create a sense of immersion. The view of Mount Fuji is still there, but it's experienced from within the depth of the space, framed by the solid mass of the concrete walls. Inside the second villa, the atmosphere is soft and diffused. The earth-toned palette continues, creating a warm, monochromatic environment where form and light take center stage. The kitchen area is integrated into the curved geometry of the space. It feels less like a functional room and more like a sculptural void carved out of a single, solid mass. Large windows still provide a connection to the outside, but here they feel like carefully curated views rather than a total dissolution of the boundary. The interior surfaces catch the light in a way that feels incredibly soft, almost like the inside of a cave where the sun has been tempered by the depth of the earth. It invites a different kind of observation, one that is more internal and reflective. The continuous curved surfaces define the living area, creating a sense of flow that is both organic and calming. We wanted to avoid sharp corners and hard edges. The seating is integrated directly into the architecture, reinforcing the feeling that you are being cradled by the building. It's about creating a space that responds to the body's need for comfort and enclosure. The cave bedrooms are the ultimate expression of this sinking concept. Tucked into the core of the villa, they are intimate, womb-like spaces designed for deep rest. Light is used sparingly here, highlighting the gentle curve of the ceiling. It's a space where you can lose track of time, fully immersed in the stillness and the material warmth of the architecture. Even from within the deep curved interior, the mountain remains a focal point. The window frames Fuji like a sacred object, seen from a position of absolute quiet and safety. This is the sinking experience, viewing the vast landscape from a place of profound enclosure. It reconfigures your perception of distance, making the mountain feel both intimate and infinitely far away. The vertical tower we saw earlier acts as a companion to the main villas, a compact wooden volume that provides an elevated perspective. It's a simple, honest structure that emphasizes the verticality of the site. By providing these different levels of observation, we allow the inhabitant to constantly reevaluate their relationship with the horizon and the mountain. The third villa is defined by its expansive curved timber roof, which spans along the ridgeline like a protective wing. It's the enveloping approach. Constructed from aligned wooden members, the roof follows the natural contours of the hill. It creates a large, unified space underneath that feels both expansive and protective, framing the shifting landscape of Mount Fuji through a generous opening. The ground floor of the third villa is designed as a communal space for dining and gathering. It's the largest of the three interiors, meant for shared moments. The plan is open and fluid, with a large timber roof creating a sense of shelter for the entire family or group. Even with its larger scale, the focus remains on the mountain, perfectly aligned with the main axis of the project. The upper level provides a more intimate setting for relaxation and viewing. It's tucked under the highest point of the curved roof, offering a sense of privacy within the larger volume. By creating these different levels of intimacy within a single, unified space, we allow families to stay connected while still finding individual moments of reflection. It's an architecture of shared presence. This section reveals the true drama of the curved roof. It's a single, powerful gesture that defines the entire spatial experience of the villa. You can see how the roof slopes down to frame the view, creating a double-height space that feels incredibly airy. It's a physical manifestation of being enveloped by both the architecture and the landscape. Inside, the warmth of the timber roof is overwhelming. The aligned wooden members create a rhythmic ceiling that draws the eye upward and then outward toward the mountain. The geometry of the roof is carefully calculated to frame Fuji in a way that feels both grand and personal. It's a space that celebrates the beauty of natural materials and the precision of architectural form. The dining area under the curved roof is a place of connection. The large table is oriented directly toward the mountain, making every meal a shared experience with the landscape. We wanted this space to feel like a haven, a place where the scale of the architecture matches the scale of the scenery outside. It's the communal heart of the project, where the third place is experienced together. As the light changes throughout the day, the mountain takes on a different character. At sunset, the peak glows with a soft, ethereal light, and the clouds create a shifting drama that is impossible to look away from. The architecture is designed to be a quiet observer of these changes. By providing a stable, protective frame, we allow the inhabitant to fully appreciate the ephemeral beauty of the environment. Even in the bath, the connection to Fuji remains. The sloped opening in the roof frames the peak perfectly, allowing you to soak in the water while contemplating the mountain. This is the final reflection of the project, that architecture can be a bridge between our bodies and the landscape. Whether you are floating, sinking, or being enveloped, the goal is always the same: to find a deeper, slower awareness of the world around us. In the end, these three architectures aren't just buildings, they are instruments for perception. By floating above the ground, sinking into the earth, or being enveloped by wood, we hope guests find a new rhythm. Mount Fuji is no longer just a view, it's an active presence that changes with every hour, every season, and every position you take within the space. It's about rediscovering that third place within ourselves, mediated through the landscape and the sensory experience of architecture. We invite you to stay a while, to slow down, and to see the world again for the first time.